Hi there, this is David Dingo for Dingo Servo Mounts, and this video is about assembling the new SlimTwin and SlimTrip. If you're making a SlimTrip, you would need to first make a SlimTwin, and so let's begin with a SlimTwin. You will need this frame here. The top is that side there with the two holes in, close together. The bottom also has two holes, but they are much closer together there. These are further apart, and we'll need the top plate which goes to the top of the unit. So those two fit together like so. However, if you're going to use the gasket, and you don't have to, but if you want to use the gasket, now is the time to put that gasket on before you put it together. However, if you haven't put the gasket on and you want it later, it's a question of taking out two screws, which are not too difficult to get to, and then just putting the gasket in and putting it all back together again. So let's start by putting a screw in there, getting a screwdriver on that, these are M2x6 screws, by the way. Okay, that's nice and tight. Don't over tighten it because it's only going into 3D printed plastic, so you don't want to strip it off, but it needs to be secure. That gives you your main frame for the SlimTwin, and now we need to take our sliders. You will need two, and you will need to position them one to the left and one to the right. Now what I suggest with these is before you put them in, is to put the little screws in there which are going to hold the actuator pins from your signal. So let me do that quickly, and then we'll come back. This is the M2x3 screws. Right, we're back. Now you see I put the two screws in, the three screws in each one. If you're making up a SlimTrip, then obviously you'll need to put make up a third one of these. We'll get to that later. So now we take these units, and the slot is always to the outside, and fit it through the slot in the base. A little tricky, all the way down and then up into the slot at the top, and the same with the other one, into the bottom first, better, and up into the top. So that then puts the main unit together. The next thing we need to do is we need to take one of these dogs, the actuator arms that they supply on the servos. The horns are very flimsy, so I supply these to you. Now if you look, there's a cutaway there, so from the inside of that you put an M1.6x8 screw all the way in, screw it all the way up. It will self-start quite happily, and it will go all the way in. Just keep screwing away till it stops, and then you will have the unit all the way in. You need one for each servo. Having done that, you take your good old trusty servo tester, put it into the center pin so the middle light comes on, and you then center your servos, and then you will screw those horns onto the servos as I've done here, one left and one right. Sorry, I've got two left ones there for some reason. I need to have one left and one right. I have one left and one right, one left and one right. Should have been a dead giveaway, the fact that they had the one had a white unit on one and a brown unit. There you go. So they are now centered, and then I have fitted one on either side. Now what we can do is we can drop these through. Remember, that one's going to go to this side, and in the process you need to lock that into the slot there, like so. And once that's in position, we can then screw this up with the M1.6x3 screws. Right, so to save time while you're watching the video, I've screwed those in now. As you can see, they are located in there. Then it's quite good just to do a test by plugging each servo onto the servo tester and making sure that it works. Always good to plug it the right way around, and each one works quite happily. There we go. So that's your SlimTwin all done and dusted. Now you can, as always, use the magnet clips instead of the 3 screws. You take out the 3 screws, just use the 2 on the right, put a magnet clip on there and one over there. There are instructions and a video online on how to put a magnet clip on an omni mount or a single mount, which is exactly the same units as we've got here. And that is your unit all done. You can then build your signal on there, drop the actuator wires through there, lock them onto the pins there. You may notice on the mount here that there's a slot in the center there. That slot will become evident once we put the Slim Trip unit on the bottom. So that concludes the building of a SlimTwin.